Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Drift Crisis. In our last session, our group of adventurers had found themselves trapped in an alternate reality parallel to the one you normally come from due to the Signal Chaos Engine's bullshit. The engine that, quite frankly, none of you have any clue exactly what it does right now and seems to have merged both your original drift engine with the chaos sails of the primordial and maybe a little other bullshit thrown in for good measure. You came here to this alternate reality, lovingly called Veskworld for now, where you somehow almost immediately came into contact with this reality's versions of yourself. Assisting them in fending off an Aslanti attack, you allowed them onto your ship to share a meal and a drink and to share stories with one another, which seemed to be a relatively peaceful, if not even jovial time, although some of them seemed to have relatively tragic stories that they shared with you to some extent, only for them to come try and stab you in your sleep and steal your ship. Because why not?
Incredibly rude.
Only mildly. Thankfully, though, you all woke up in time, seemingly in part due to a strange dream each of you had that was probably the most lucid any of you have ever dreamt before, and had you wake up seemingly having already done your full preparations for the day, even though it was around 2 in the morning at that point, nowhere near the time you should have finished resting or have done your prep by. But just in time, you were able to fend off the alternate versions of yourself, killing each and every one of them, taking their shit for yourself, and throwing their corpses into space where they belong.
And making sure by double tapping.
Yeah, oh yes, and the double tapping. Only to then go through their stuff, or read their data pads, and realize they were trying to effectively start a bidding war, auctioning you all off to either the Veskarium or the Knights of Golarion, both of whom are entities interested in alternate realities, though from what you're able to find, the Knights of Golarion have a relatively nearby station that has a functioning, stable portal to alternate realities. So, figuring that maybe you could find a way to gain access to that portal and configure it to your own quantum signatures, you could use that portal to send yourselves home instead of having to input coordinates into the Signal Chaos Engine, hope you get it right, and get home that way. Oh.
No.
Thankfully, you hadn't gone too far, so you retrieved the corpses of your alternate reality versions, thinking that perhaps you could do a little bit of switcherooing. Right as you are approaching the station, you might be able to jerry-rig your own quantum signatures and those of the corpses to make it appear as if you were the ones from this reality, the corpses were the ones who weren't, and use that as a way to get access to the station. Whether that will work or not, we'll find out here in a couple minutes. But you all made your way through the diaspora to the outskirts of Arosni Station. You dealt with a Veskarian checkpoint with a very bored security officer who was going through your papers and got screamed at. Just really didn't want to deal with your bullshit and sent you on your way. So, with that all being said, we are picking the story up right around the time you guys are coming towards Arosni Station proper. The station itself, this massive structure of about 14 stories, comprised of a primary tower and 2 sort of flanking auxiliary towers, creating almost a triangle shape. Each of them are connected via enclosed corridors at key levels, and each of them likely contains its own elevator. You don't know much else about the station from where you are, though, so you'll have to get in. You need to find where the portal control room is, get there, configure it, and get into the portal itself, which currently stands dormant, floating in space between each of the 3 towers. At this moment in time, the portal itself being effectively framed by this obsidian alloy, a massive circular structure in between all 3 of these towers. Its surface etched with multitudes of occult and divine runes glowing softly like stars. Each section sort of reinforced by lattice works of crystal and liquid magical energy that will activate it when it is properly attuned, but as of right now, the portal's center is this just sort of slightly shimmering void, faintly translucent to look through. It's almost like rippling water to look at, but is very clearly inactive right now. So, you guys are around the distance from the station that you're probably going to be hailed soon for perhaps clearance codes or things like that. This is also probably around the time where you're going to want to start working on adjusting your quantum signatures if you can, knowing that it'll only last for a bit of time, but they might do a scan here of your ship or not. So the choice is up to you if you'd like to do it now or wait until you are actively landing.
Might be good to do it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thinker, do it now.
Well, let me check here real quick. Let's see. We've got in the party right now, Thinker and Kimana are trained in medicine. And then occultism and nature have Thinker and T'Pol, I believe. As Kimana is trained in nature as well. So those are the 3 primary skills that can be done. It looks like the benefits are all around even. I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to actively roll for each individual person, or if you just want to do one group roll for the party and one group roll for the corpses.
I think one group roll would be good.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like, if some of us are right and some of us are wrong, and that's gonna, like, come off weird.
Sure. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Who wants to work on trying to modify the quantum signatures of the party, the living individuals right now?
I believe last session there was a thing where I could take assurance in the skill for that for the day.
You can indeed take assurance. That is your Witch Warper ability, I believe.
Yeah.
Your anomaly specific lets you take assurance once per day for a specific skill. The main skills for this are medicine, occultism, and nature.
I'll go ahead and aid.
Well, what I'm going to ask is one of you
sorry.
to focus on adjusting the group, the other person to focus on adjusting the corpses.
Gotcha.
So
Which one do we care more about lasting longer? Probably the corpses, right? Because if I remember correctly, I can do assurance, but it won't last as long. And so we want to roll higher than what my assurance can guarantee, probably for the corpses, because that needs to last longer than our individual.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Then if you'd like to go ahead and give your assurance roll for the corpses, you're welcome to. And Kimana, you can give a check for the living group's signatures.
Do you want this public or private?
This can be public.
Get them hero points ready.
it can only be higher. Can I ask if that's a success?
I realize, to Paul, you didn't necessarily have assurance on your character sheet to make it easy on you. So, were you going to be taking assurance, or did you want to actively roll for it? I should have asked.
I was going to take assurance.
Okay.
And yeah, that's right, because I don't think that I actually roll for that, right? It's just 10
you would just
plus.
have a flat 14 on the roll.
I realized that after I clicked the roll button.
All right.
Though that 24 looks shiny.
It does. 18 would be a regular success, Kimana.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. Both of you taking a minute or so here as the ship sort of slows down for its final approach towards the station itself. Take everyone up into the med bay one at a time, yourselves and the corpses, and effectively just operating together, you swap the quantum signatures, how they're registering between the corpse and the original character's version. You're fairly certain you're successful. It's probably not going to last too long, really likely only an hour or so for both all you guys and the corpses, but maybe that's enough time.
There's not needles involved, is there?
No, there actually is not in this procedure.
Oh, good. I don't like needles.
You and me both.
Yeah, you get used to them.
All right.
Dabbing in.
Don't let
Deeper.
Big Pharma get their scales, their claws into you.
That damn
I like
Abadar core.
Ah.
Oy. All right. Well, around the time you finish up the procedure and head back to your stations on the ship, there is an incoming hail from the station to the bridge for whoever is either acting as captain or just the one piloting to take right now.
Kumana will go ahead and take it with her deception.
All right.
Does anybody have higher deception than +7?
You're tied to Scion.
Okay. Yeah, if Keon can be up here with me to aid me and stuff.
As the two of you stand on the upper level of the bridge and take this call, a Veskarian officer appears on the visual. Incoming vessel, halt your approach. Force field is active on the hangar. Gives your clearance codes to receive permission to land.
The clearance codes are just something we send over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't have them.
Then. What?
Did we?
You don't have clearance codes.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's rewind. We would have known we needed clearance codes, right?
Most likely.
Okay. And
You could have
What are-
assumed that clearance codes would be something you need.
okay. So is that is that something that would be in their systems, or
It might be under data pads.
So the deal between your guys' fake versions and Erosny Station wasn't completed. There was no binding agreement actually made, so no clearance codes were given to them to land.
Okay.
You could feasibly, you could try and just say, hey, we've got alternate reality corpses here for you and see what that does. You're also at a distance that, with your ship's scanners, I would allow attempts to try and hack their database and get codes for yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure. Is that something that one of our computers folk could be doing on the side outside of the view of
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this hacking, would it have to start as soon as we're in transmission range like this?
Most
Or could
likely,
it
because
have-
you guys have
okay.
short-range sensors on your ship, unfortunately.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So at
Then-
around this distance would be when you could start hacking.
Yeah, then Kamana would ask T'Pol and Amara to start hacking as soon as we're within range.
Whoa, please don't just make rolls. Tell me what you're doing first. I know it's assumed here, but...
Sorry.
Because if someone wants to aid also, or
Yeah.
individual rolls,
Yeah,
it's good to know before any rolls are made here.
yeah, T'Pol has the better, so I don't know if Amara wants to do the aid.
I would aid.
Okay, go ahead and give me that aid roll, Amara. I assume, like, Kimana and Kian on the conversation, you're sort of trying to delay a little bit in order for Amara and T'Pol to actually on the side hack into their systems and get those codes for you. Unfortunately, even with that +1 T'Pol, that is not a success. So, I don't know if you'd like to hero point it or not, but right now, from this distance, sort of rushing to get into the system of Erasni Station, it's a pretty tight security at the moment. It's a bit hard to crack that quickly.
Yeah, I'll hero point it.
Go for it. Much better. Yeah, sort of, you know, you hopped on it real quick. You like tech stuff, so when the opportunity presented it, you just jumped in. And realizing it was a bit hard, it takes you a hard moment to sort of stop and recollect yourself, but then Amara slides on over, gives you a little bit of assistance, just, you know, an extra set of hands on the keyboard. Makes it 10 times easier. And as Kimana and Kian are attempting to distract the person on the vid screen, the two of you are able to quickly access the system of the Erasni Station real quick and get codes for your ship.
Do you want me to roll something to distract him while the hacking is taking place?
If you want to roll deception, you may.
Yeah. Just Kamana will open up with, you know, like, we have alternate reality corpses on our ship that we wish to deliver. We began an agreement with your organization, and we are here to deliver upon it. And I don't know, like, how long it's going to take for the hacking to take place.
I appreciate the NCIS gif.
Oh no.
Do you want to aid? Deception aid?
Yes, please.
Good.
Not quite a success on that aid, unfortunately.
That's fine. Blind?
Always.
Okay.
You're never allowed to know how well you roll deception. Okay. Taking a minute here, you know, sort of, oh, we have alternate reality specimens here. The person on the other side of the screen actually perks up a little bit. Oh, specimens, you say? Why didn't you say so sooner? Give me one moment here. Look at that. Codes are in our system for your ship. Hangar Bay 16 on the third tower right there for you.
Hangar Bay 16, understood. Coming in.
As the force field lowers, you can see this this hangar bay appears to probably be on about the third floor of the station, so pretty low for the fact that the control room is probably pretty high up since the portal itself is near the top of the station. So you probably need to find a way up there, but shouldn't be too terribly difficult. But Amara, as you begin to pilot the Primarata down towards Hangar Bay 16 and eventually slowly sort of fly the ship in and land it down, what all is the plan from here for you guys?
Go fast with ourselves and the corpses. Try and get ourselves scanned as quickly as possible. Does anybody else have anything they want to put forward?
No.
Mm-mm. Seems smart to me.
All right. Do you guys, how are you, carrying the corpses? Are you throwing them in a crate? Are you just carrying them out in your arms? Slung in like body bags over your shoulder?
Yeah, I'm thinking body bags so they can get scanned as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like a coat rack on wheels that you can hang them all on?
Basically, yes.
Roll it out.
Mm.
All right. Well, as you all make your way off of the Primarata into the station proper, the hangar bay you guys find yourself in is a pretty large chamber, roughly 60-foot tall ceilings, the walls decorated with massive banners bearing a rapier that is bisecting a blooming, colorful lotus flower, very clearly the holy symbol of Erasmi. The hangar is much larger than what is depicted on the map right here, but this is as you all are getting off of the ship with the corpses in tow. Out of what appears to be a nearby small building, a group of 4 individuals comes striding towards you. 3 of them, Vesks dressed in pretty simple sort of security armor. The most forward individual, though, is what looks to be a human man, dark skin, sort of close-shaved hair, with a massive set of black and gold armor that sort of is letting off motes of ash as he walks towards you all, with a pretty commanding presence.
So you're on fire.
But this group of 4 individuals do gradually make your way towards you. You can see the 3 Vesk, each of them have like a pretty large doshko, a typical Vesk weapon that is already sort of out and at their side, ready to go. The guy in front does not have any weapons currently drawn, but does have what looks to be a pistol strapped at his waist.
Okay. I guess we wouldn't have any knowledge about these people.
Probably not.
Kamana will stride forward and kind of make herself quick. Will advance as quickly upon these people without seeming threatening, of course. And will extend a hand out for a shake, introduce herself, and will say, hi, Kamana of the Murata. Like we said, we have some alternate reality corpses for you. No offense, but could we make this as quick as possible? We do have some other business that's rather urgent.
The individual in the lead sort of raises one of his eyebrows as he shakes his hand, and you just sort of immediately go off on this spiel. Knight Commander Anko Winter is at your service.
Nice to meet you, Commander Winters.
Well, happy to make this as quick as well. Let's see the corpses.
Yep. And presumably Durgash is the one rolling it forward as our big strong boy.
I don't know who is.
I'll show him one of the bodies.
Sure. He will, you take the body, you lay it down, unzip the bag, and one of the security guards comes up with a small handheld device that looks kind of like a cattle prod, and just sort of roughly waves it over the corpse for a moment, which does light up with a sort of deep bluish-green hue, as the security officer then just nods to Winters here. Right. Do you mind if we take a look at the rest of the bodies? You have to verify all of them.
Go right ahead.
Sure. Here.
They will one at a time take down each of the body bags. This singular figure will take his wand, wave it over the corpses, continue to snap into that blue-green color. This does take a few minutes because it's not like he does a quick wave. It is a very slow, like, scan over the entire body, scan back down just to be safe.
Okay, Kamana will try to rush him a little bit. Just like, okay, I understand you gotta be thorough, but please, come on.
We'll finish when we finish. You're the ones who brought them here for us. You don't get to rush us through the deal you wanted to make.
All right. Smile. A strained smile.
Yes, have patience. Always impulsive.
After about 3-4 minutes in total of scanning these corpses, they will, all of them, of course, match the correct quantum signature for an alternate reality. So they will nod, and Go will sort of nod slightly, and then, let's see, which one here? Will immediately sort of rapidly draw his pistol, aim it at the corpse of Amara, and shoot them in the heart. And then proceed to shoot each individual corpse in the heart as well.
Jeez, I already double tapped him. Go ahead, triple tap him.
Nice shots to the head, but we have our own preferred way of doing things. Better to be safe than sorry, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's why I double tapped him, but you're welcome.
He will look at the 3 guards behind him. Take him to the reanimation lab on level 8. So.
Reanimation lab?
Well, of course. Once they've been converted into undead, they'll tell us everything they know about their reality.
Why interrogate when you can just, raise a corpse?
It's much easier, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Kamana will very, very, try to make it seem casual. How long, do you need us to wait for that? Or, how long something like that take?
Not at all. You verified their identity. If you're looking for payment, he will pull out a pretty nice-looking cred stick and just sort of flick it over towards you. That should suffice for these.
Okay, sorry, remind me what we're actually here for.
You want access to that portal to turn on to go back to our reality, which maybe we can access to that through computer systems, but I'm not sneaking.
Does it this cred stick, does it tell us how much is on the cred stick?
You can take a moment to pull out your comms unit or data pad and just swipe it real quick to check it. It doesn't have a number directly listed on it, but it's pretty easy to check.
Yeah, that would just see how much it is, because I don't want to give it up if it's not
800 credits.
What's our current party wealth? That's more than our current party wealth.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. What are the rest of you doing while this is going on, with Kamana and Durgesh sort of helming the bodies in the conversation? I don't want to leave the rest of you just sort of in the back. What are you guys doing?
I'm keeping an eye on things.
I'm just chilling.
I think Kian's kind of keeping an eye on things and hanging back a little bit.
Sure.
Man, I really wish I had limited telepathy right now.
Wish what?
I wish I had limited telepathy right now.
What a tragedy, Durgesh. You don't.
Yeah, no. I'm a flatliner.
I mean, Kamana, do we think they might have ways to tap into telepathy? Should we... I mean, I guess the question is, Mr. Jericho, do we know how common, like, ways to tap into a telepathic network are?
Give me a recall knowledge. Anyone who'd like to may do so.
Yeah, if this is something we could have thought about beforehand.
As far as all of you're aware, it's not super common at all, but it's not impossible.
If everybody's okay with it, Kamana would suggest we hang back on the telepathy for now, just in case. Does anybody have a... Okay. In that case, Kamana will kind of hold onto the cred stick before looking at this guy and saying, I hope you don't mind, can we use that portal of yours too to get to where we need to get going? I don't know if in this reality the drift is down as well right now.
That is correct.
Yeah. Don't know if you noticed, but the drift is kind of down right now. Could really use a convenient way to get around.
I need a deception check here.
Mm-hmm.
The DC
do you want a deception
pretty high right now. Actively asking to use their portal is a little bit of a stretch for these guys.
That's fair. Yeah, can Keon pop in with something here?
Does Keon speak Vesk?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch it.
I think there's a whole thing. Keon doesn't speak Vesk. You know some basic phrases. You know what? I'd allow you attempt to aid at a higher aid DC if you'd like, since you have a very broken understanding of Vesk with the time you spent practicing on the week you had on the journey here.
Ooh, did you want this one?
8 is public.
This one's public? Yeah.
Yep. Beautifully done. All right, go ahead and take your +2, Kamana.
Okay.
As Keon puts in the most effort he's ever put into something in his life, and in somehow fluent Vesk helps you out.
Yeah, or maybe he just like, maybe not even necessarily in fluent Vesk, but yeah. Anyways, okay. Here goes nothing. Watching for Jericho's reaction very carefully.
I think it's on clear tears.
Yeah, on your guys' tears.
I saw a smirk on his face as he was sipping that he was trying to hide by sipping. Can I hero point it?
No.
No. But you always offer.
When it's funny. This isn't funny.
This is serious. Come on now.
I offer you to hero point blind rolls when it will entertain me to see you guys suffer.
Oh my god.
The commander takes a moment and looks at you, sort of raising an eyebrow.
Mana just kind of has her arms crossed, doing her
You
best
need
Karen.
travel to an alternate reality to help you get somewhere.
Yes, we have business in an alternate reality.
And Do you perchance have the coordinates to this alternate reality?
Do we have the coordinates to the alternate reality?
I mean, you technically have your own quantum signatures logged from when you were switching them.
Okay. Is that something we could have discerned coordinates from, or?
When they say coordinates, they mostly mean a quantum signature, because that is what acts as the coordinates to a specific reality.
Okay. Then Kamana will point towards the bodies and say, before we killed them, they gave us some pretty good information about their reality. We're gonna head over there and see if we can't bring any more of these folks back.
Real paragons of virtue, ain't ya?
Well, we're mostly gonna be looking for pirates and stuff. We're not gonna go raiding civilian settlements or anything like that.
Tell me more. I'm interested now.
Okay. We're gonna hop over to their reality where they, we got some information about systems replete with pirates. We're gonna head to those systems, blow some pirates up, or pirate ships up, grab the bodies, bring them back. More for you.
Durgash, if you want to jump in, you're welcome to. I will typically, in situations like this, allow the group to roll using the best skill.
I've had times in the past where I said something that I probably shouldn't have.
There are specific situations where I will limit it to the specific character who's talking, but in the case like this, where it is theoretically like you and Kimana are both talking to this guy and sort of doing a back and forth, you are welcome to interject.
Can I interject?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we're making a couple of assumptions here that you want more bodies randomly from the same place we got these. Is that accurate? Because if not, we're totally for hire. We could go to whatever dimension you want, and we can collect people for you.
Kamana just kind of makes a show of rolling her eyes, like, oh my god, these subordinates always wiping up.
I mean, we stole their ship, so we could probably slip past their home-based defenses. They'll never see us coming.
Well, that does sound like an interesting mission you have, doesn't it? All right, then. Sort of nods his head over towards this sort of circular structure over here. I'll take you to the main hive. From there, grab an elevator up to level 12.
I would like to sense motive on this guy to see if he's picked up on us or not.
Sure. Your cover is 100% blown right now. You have made some sort of faux pas, and he absolutely does not believe a lick of what you're saying right now.
Okay. I'll send that information to my friends over the telepathic bond. Kamana will take the risk, and she'll ask the party over the telepathic bond what we should do, knowing with this knowledge.
I think the first thing that you hear back is Keon says, "What the fuck did I see?"
I think it's something I said. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't even know the words that came out of my mouth. I just panicked. Do we attack him now?
I don't know. What does everybody else think?
I think we should go back to the ship and we should just try to use the drive. We have the quantum signatures. We might be able to just plug that stuff into the drive and see what happens.
can't back out right now. They'll attack us.
Could we do a fighting retreat?
Always.
We're inside their hangar.
And this is a heavily armed station.
They'll lock down the hangar really quick, probably before we can launch. We need to be able to launch without them knowing we're trying to leave.
Do we have to launch? Is that how that engine works? Or can we just pretend we're the USS Discovery and do a spore jump from inside the hangar?
You want to do it from inside the hangar?
Hell yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, they'll probably hurt them more than it hurt us.
When
Do
the
we
party
know
last
how-
used the engine, you had specifically left ground level before you used it. You don't know what'll happen if you use it while you're on the ship.
Can I roll something to make an educated guess as to what would happen?
No, because you guys have not been able to really figure out anything about this engine so far.
That's what I thought.
It is really and utterly a scientific crapshoot of what in God's name will happen.
I think chances. I think we leave that for our last resort. I'm still confused as to what's going on and what the hell I said. But maybe just no need for a tour. We'll see ourselves out. I think they go and buy that. Who knows?
Okay, so gonna put it up to the party. It sounds like we have a couple options. We can try and leave. We can play along and go with them, or we can try to fucking jump out with the engine right where we are. Unless anybody has any other opinions.
We need to give an excuse that we're returning to our ship instead of going through the thing they just said we could still do.
Yeah.
So, like, we need to check our gear or something. Or
Yeah.
like,
Or Kamana could like get a message over her thing. I don't know if one of you have good like thievery or stealth to try and like do a call to Kamana that they won't notice.
I have good stealth and thievery.
Bam.
Do we want to try that?
oh, make it seem like someone on our ship is contacting you, saying your attention is needed right away.
Yeah.
Okay. That might work.
Yeah, I have stealth thievery of 8.
We could also just tell them we need to go grab our luggage.
Why would we need to grab our luggage? We'd be using our ship through their portal.
Yeah.
No, I think faking the call to our comm unit is probably the best idea to get us back on our own ship.
So Amara, if you're okay doing something like that,
You want
I
to?
don't.
You want to do an extra step? Because we do have a couple passengers that are still on the ship. We can send a message to them to send a message to you.
Well,
So it doesn't
the
do
problem
like an
is-
immediate
well,
thing.
It seems you have to use your comm unit to do that
Yeah.
because they're outside telepathy range.
I think
So you may
Kian
as well
is
just
saying if you send it to someone on ship and have them message, it would be a delayed response from someone on the ship to Kimana rather than just, if Amara gets caught and an immediate beep goes off, it's kind of obvious who the message comes from.
Are we thinking one of us might be able to send a message to the crew without it seeming suspicious? Like Amara pulls out her comm unit and just sends a message, like, without trying to hide it? Any opinions on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think Kian can do it in Broken Vesk, maybe. I just did. Yeah, just got to let someone on the crew know, or if he gets caught, or whoever is trying to do it if they get caught.
Yeah, maybe. Well, who has the best deception? Keon is the best deception, so maybe Keon can send a message to somebody on the ship to send Kamana a message. Is everybody okay with this plan, or?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. It's all you, Keon.
Do you need the stealth roll public, or?
So what specifically are you attempting to do right now?
Just kind of pull out the comms, send a quick text message. Not trying to be too secret, but hopefully just not getting it through. And then if asked about it, I'll just kind of do a deception check and blow it off, that kind of thing.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll say for sort of surreptitiously sending a message like this, I'll allow stealth. Please roll that blind for me.
Is it the sneak roll in the actions?
You can roll from your basic action macros, and yeah, just using sneak would be perfect for this. Theoretically, this should probably be a thievery roll, but oh well. You access your comms unit pretty quietly, shoot a message to Cobalt, let's say, and ask him to send a message to Kamana here in a couple moments. And, at this point, Enko and the other guards are sort of waiting for your response, because he said, go on ahead, and you've now spent a couple seconds sort of standing there.
Yeah. Kamana will be doing her best, like, arms crossed, kind of staring him down, trying to size him up to make it seem like she's just taking the time to do that.
Sassy.
Could ask him what he wants in return. Turn it into a negotiation to, buy time.
That's a good idea. Yeah, Kamana will start acting, going off to Paul like, and what's the catch? What do you want in return? Feel like,
Weren't you the one who said you'd come back with samples for us?
That's true, but I get the feeling you might be wanting something else out of this. And let me know at what point I get Cobalt's message.
Well, we're always happy for as many samples as possible, so that would be payment enough.
Do you have specific targeting criteria we should keep in mind when looking for potential merchandise?
As varied an ability as possible. It's always beneficial for experimenting on. Right around this time, your comm unit goes off, Kamana.
Yeah, and Kamana will kind of like press the button in her ear and listen to what Cobalt has to say. Presumably he's just like, yeah, here's the dummy message I was asked to send or whatever.
Getting a message, are you?
And Kamana just kind of shakes her head, does her best to look very frustrated. It's like, fucking 7 hells, god damn it. Okay, I'm really sorry about this. We're gonna have to cut this short. Some bullshit's happening on my ship that I gotta deal with. We'll be back as soon as we can. I hope we can continue this partnership once my bullshit over here is done. And
that person on
Tell
your
me
ship.
thoughts.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned you took this ship from the corpses you brought us.
I have a question, Mr. Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Could Kamana start moving away, like she's like huffing and puffing and walking away, without, just so she's not in melee range of this guy if things pop up?
Sort of the moment you go to, like, turn half a shoulder and take a step away, he goes, no, wait just a moment.
What? Yeah, yes, we killed the people in those body bags, took their ship. We already told you this.
You know, it's strange. I'm looking at a ship like that, and I'm thinking it takes way more than 5 people to run a vessel like that. And if you took over that ship, I think there'd be more people on it.
Well,
I'll tell you a little theory I've got going on right now.
Look, do you want the rest of the bodies? Like, to be honest, we were gonna go sell them to what's the other people that want the bodies?
The Vescarium.
Yeah, we were gonna go sell the rest of the Vescarium, see if we could get a better offer from them. But if you want the rest of them, we'll hand them over.
Well, see, that's interesting. You haven't even tried to see how much we're willing to pay for them. You're just assuming you're going to get a better deal for the rest when you already sold off some to us?
I assumed we weren't going to figure out how much you would give us until we agreed to sell the bodies. No offense, but I know how you Knights of Erasni folk are.
Do you? I'm sure you know how some of them work, but, I'm thinking more and more you don't quite know how we work. After all, there's only so much information you can find on the net, isn't there?
Well, go ahead and tell us how you work then.
It's a bit like this. When fools from alternate realities come here pretending to be what they're not and think they can just waltz on in and use our portal under the pretense of capturing more specimens for us. How many times do you think that excuse has been tried?
Seriously? That's this fucking guy. Can you believe him?
Kian just laughs, not understanding what's going on.
That's not even the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
How often do people cross dimensions? That's ridiculous.
Look,
Let me ask you
if
this.
If you don't want to fucking work with us, just fucking tell us, okay?
Well, I wouldn't say we don't want to work with you. That is probably correct. But working for us, now that's something different entirely. Answer me this. Once you went through the portal to this alternate dimension that you so happen to have quantum signature for, how were you planning on bringing the corpses back from what you raid?
We could use our quantum signatures to come back here?
You have your own portal?
No, but I'm sure we could find one over there.
Well, this has been a riveting circle of a conversation. How's about we all head on over to the portal control station? Get and put your quantum signatures, we'll get you on your way. After all, you'll have to get back on your ship then. What's a few more minutes in between? Surely it can't be that bad of an emergency.
And I accept a really feeble sense motive.
Yeah.
If you'd like to really put dice on the table, you can.
I was wondering if I can do a fresh sense motive here.
Go for it. I think it's probably pretty obvious, but if you want to roll some dice, I won't prevent you from doing so.
Can Kian sense motive on the party? Because This is all happening in Vesk. He has no idea what's going on. They're not. I mean, there's been a little bit of a translation for it, but I know we're kind of like mute on like telepathy, so he's just standing there, kind of panicking.
We've already broken radio silence on telepathy, so I think Kamana would be relaying to Kian at this point.
Okay, so
Okay, so I have an idea.
Yeah, what's your idea?
I want to tell him very vaguely about the weird engine, but in a weird way. And basically,
How weird
say that
Weird of you.
say that we're worried about an interaction between the portal and this technology that we've been developing to be able to jump between realities more freely, and that we need to go and make sure that that technology is secured before using their portal. And we're hoping that going to this alternate reality where these people that we just delivered to them had the schematics for this thing, wink wink, we might be able to get it working and return with it, thus explaining how we would manage to get back, and potentially explaining why we need to go back to the ship before the portal gets activated in proximity to this technology.
Go ahead, give me that blind deception check. Kimana and Durgesh, he's digging into every tiny crack of an inconsistency. He is 100% onto, and he's not even being subtle about it.
Yeah.
He knows you guys are fake.
I mean,
Do I need to roll the deception, or can someone with higher deception roll it?
I think the issue right now is he doesn't believe a word coming out of Kamana's mouth anymore.
Gotcha.
So if there's someone else with good deception that you could rely on to share that information, it's really...
Kian doesn't speak.
Kian's your only other option, but the DC is inherently higher for him since he does not speak Vesk.
Kian?
Amara has decent deception.
I have okay deception, yeah.
Amara is tied for T'Pol with deception.
So for Kian, wanting to sense motive on the party, that gif is basically what he's seeing right now.
T'Pol, as you share this idea aloud, he does give you a interested look in his eye. I am definitely very curious if schematics for a fun engine in that ship come from this reality, but see where I'm a bit confused is when you first came off your ship and delivered these bodies to us, you were adamant that your mission was of timely necessity. So the fact that now you want to go check your engine and see if it's okay to go through this portal, it's not making a whole lot of sense, is it?
Kamana will, over telepathy at this point, ask if we want to drop the charade and see if he'll be amenable to us just as we are.
Well, the way I see it, the message that you just got totally said that there were some weird readings and weird energy spikes on the readings off of this prototype engine that's installed. So that's why we're suddenly worried about the interactions between it and the portal. Seems straightforward to me. And anything else where we weren't exactly forthright up front, we can just explain as operational security because we don't know how much to trust them to begin with.
Someone doesn't seem to know how to pilot a ship with chaotic energies very well. Just me as a pilot.
Yeah. If
maybe you want this space station to explode?
It's good research material.
With you in it, you're going to do a great job of researching when the ship explodes with you in it. Do you understand how chaotic energies interact with each other?
Oh, believe me, I'm quite aware of what
Don't seem like it.
Starbursts.
Durgan's gonna raise the head to the crew for a moment to stop talking for a little bit here. And it's like, look, it's clear there's some hostility here. Are we free to leave? Because I think there's a breakdown of negotiations here, and I don't think we're really feeling what you're handing out here, and you're not trusting us. So I think it's time that we would rather just not be here anymore. And I don't want things to get any more messy here.
Well,
I would like to try to intimidate him to convince him to let us leave.
you may certainly try to do so. The DC's pretty high right now. For
Can
this
I
sort of
try to
I-
offer a trade to this guy to let us go back to the ship first?
That's
Let's see the
blind,
intimidation.
right?
I'm sorry?
Would this be blind?
This is
Or
public.
Public? Okay. Like the only good thing I'm not good at. That's not too bad. 20? Tempted to hero point that. I'm gonna roll a 12. I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay.
Come on. 2 higher. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. I shot my shot.
Well, here's the thing, right? Normally we'd say, yes, you are in fact free to leave. After all, you came, you did a transaction with us, but now, see, I'm starting to think a bit more, and your story just isn't quite adding up. So, no, I don't think you are free to leave right now.
I'll offer to give him the information that we have on the engine in exchange for our freedom.
I'll let T'Pol do that first.
Sure, we'll happily take that information, but I don't think this is the right place to take it. After all, I'm not really one of the researchers, and that information would be better in the hands of one who can verify it, wouldn't you say?
I have a data pad here that I can just hand to you, and you can take it to your researchers, and we can go back to our ship. Our ship is sitting in your hangar. It won't be able to leave until you let us free. We get to go back to our ship, make sure everything is kosher, make sure that our engine isn't doing something funky near your portal. You can make sure that stuff is verified. If it's not, you can come board our ship, take whatever you want. If it ends up being verified, you'll lower the force field, we leave.
The question I have on top of this, as T'Pol is saying this, do we want to drop the charade and be like, yeah, you got us, we're from an alternate reality? If we,
No.
I don't know if being honest with him might make him more friendly to us.
No.
No?
No.
They will
He'll
break
shoot
their
us
hearts.
and make us into undead people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you're like translating this, Keon sends a message. You know, we can at least have Cobalt like eject the trash compactor in the station. Maybe give
Shit,
us
that's
a
true.
diversion.
Wow.
Well, do we think expelling the trash compactor might make a hole in the wall?
We've got other tools for that.
It's a trash compactor. Let's be completely fair.
Okay.
But like he's saying that like I mean it could be the emergency that is why you received the call.
That true, but he's not letting us go no matter what.
Well,
I-
he hasn't responded to my...
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say we should wait to see how he responds to T'Pol's offer, and then go from there.
See, I like the ideas you guys have been generally presenting in the arguments. The dice have not been frequently on your side over the course of this conversation. So I'm debating a bit here.
Like, it seemed like an actual emergency that happened. Maybe verify our story a bit.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Keon.
What if we offer to let him on the ship to see the engine to show that we're not lying?
And if things turn hostile, then he's on our ship.
And if we happen to accidentally jump away with him on board, oops.
I see what you're saying, Keon. I think the thing is that he straight up does not believe us about the problem, and even making a problem, he's probably gonna realize, like, oh, really? That's how you're gonna do it?
He's basically certain you guys have been lying for most of this conversation. The moment you asked to use their portal, he kind of sort of caught on to the fact that you guys don't really know how things work here, and thus began thinking through all the parts of the conversation and paying a lot closer attention and going, there's a lot of parts of their story that don't add up and don't make sense, but do make sense for someone who's come to this reality and has only been able to garner base information from the infosphere. So he's 98% certain you guys are actively from an alternate reality.
How does he feel about T'Pol's offer about coming onto the ship and examining the engine himself?
Again, I'm not much of a researcher myself, but if you're willing to let some of our researchers on, I think we can come on and take a look.
Sure, yeah, specific terms. Like, I assume you don't just want to let a bunch of white coats on with no security of their own, and of course we don't want to let anyone on without security of our own, so we just need to work out the details.
Right. Well, let me place a couple of calls right here. See what doctors we have currently available. And we'll figure out the details. How's that sound?
Lana will once again check with the group.
Keon turns to Paul. Can you look at his phone? Like telepathically. Can you lock his phone? Make it call some random person, or make it call somebody that we want.
I couldn't understand what you were saying. Hang on, my audio's being weird.
But essentially, try to hack his phone to not get that. I mean, I think we're like going down the spiral at this moment.
No, we need to bail on this charade already.
Yeah, I mean, I think hacking his thing is just going to make him turn immediately aggressive. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're trying to get out of this non-aggressively.
Yeah, and my thought was, since the dice are not working well for the bluff and deception, if we roll this where we're on that thin line between truth and a lie, then the dice can't fuck us.
You can argue for a diplomacy check.
Yeah, so basically what I'm thinking is we let the scientists come on board and examine the engine just to give him a concession so he lets us leave. Maybe even lets us use his portal.
Like, my one worry with doing that is that's a lie. He's going to use the scientists to check the engine out and then still try to kidnap us, because once they're on there, our spell's going to wear off on the bodies, where they're going to get reanimated.
Yeah, I think using the portal is not something that we have an option for anymore. I think we need to get back on the ship and just try the engine at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were sort of told that, like, the coordinates are the quantum signature, theoretically. So if I can just figure out how to input the quantum signature that we're trying to use as a target in that fourth coordinate, then theoretically we can make a safe jump, question mark? Big, huge question mark in Comic Sans?
That's a big, huge question mark.
Oh, yeah.
In, like, alternating Comic Sans and Papyrus.
And
So,
Oh, not
For-
Wingding?
No
for
webdings.
right now, I think we should let him call his scientists, if only to buy time. And if we feel like we want to try to let the scientists on once they're here, then we can do that. But I think one way or another.
Ooh. How about this for an idea? Like, buy time, get the scientists to come aboard, and then blow the trash compactor, and have that be like, oh, that's the fucking shit that was gonna happen.
No.
It doesn't do a lot of damage, if I remember.
No.
We can't keep up with the lie about us having a problem with the ship. He's not going to believe it, no matter what.
He's
the
making his calls right now, by the way. While you guys are
check-
discussing this in your telepathic
Get people
network.
on board. We can deal with them easier on board than we can in the heavily armed.
Yeah.
my one concern is, we have a whole bunch of bodies on that vessel of ours that are alive and very much not from here. And if we're letting the researchers on, they're going to be able to scan those people. So we may need to communicate with the pirate captain to maybe make the rest of the crew look like they're prisoner or something.
They already know we're not from this universe. I don't think we need to worry about hiding that kind of stuff. I think we just need to try and appease them and let them do what they want so they let us go. And if, once they're on the ship, they decide to try and fuck us anyways, at least, again, we're on our ship, and we can, we'll have the advantage, home field advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
Every combat is just shaping up to take place on the Primarata in this campaign.
Yep.
We'll never use another combat map. Every enemy will be siphoned onto your ship. If I had known that, I wouldn't have bothered with other battle maps.
Oh boy. Is he done making his calls at the moment, or is he still doing them?
He is. He finishes up his calls before you guys finish your network, and he just sort of looks at you, waits to your attention to come back to him.
So I sort of looked at him like, you mentioned working for you. You want to elaborate on that? Cause I ain't gonna be no lab rat.
Well, first things first. You're in luck. One of our researchers is available right now.
Oh, great.
He's on her way over. Working for you, for us at least, mean. How honest, let's be honest right now. How honest were you being about smashing pirate ships and selling us their corpses?
I mean, I'm on board.
Yeah. One more.
I would be opposed.
One more check with the party. Do we want to drop the charade about us not
At this
being
point,
from... Okay.
yeah, it's gone.
They
It's been
know
done
for
for a while.
certain, basically.
Okay. Then Kamana will go into happy little Kamana voice and say, "We weren't lying about that. We would never attack civilians."
Yeah, I figured as much. Most realities are like that. Well, what guarantee do we have then that you'll come back? After all, if we send you through the portal, we might never hear from you again, and we don't gain anything from that.
Do you have an idea for a guarantee? Some kind of tracking device?
That's what I'm asking you for. You're the one who wants to go through and wants to bring us back corpses, so what guarantee do we have that you're going to bring us back corpses? Because otherwise, you look like pretty good lab rats to me.
Hey, that's racist.
So what if it is? What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I don't think he cares. Musty rat.
Well, for one, we're trying to figure out what happened to the drift. And if you have a team of researchers here with the portal between dimensions, then you might be able to help us figure that out.
I'm still not hearing a guarantee.
Man, we don't even know how we got here.
So you don't know how you got here, so you don't know how you'd get back.
To be fair, I'm speaking for myself. I have no idea what's going on.
I was also going to say, I mean,
You just
I wasn't lying about the engine.
Sorry, can you say that one more time to Paul?
I wasn't lying about the engine. We do want to figure out how it works, and it could bring us back. Totally not lying about that.
You know when you say that really doesn't help. I'm totally not lying.
The guarantee is that we think you might be the best chance we've seen so far about how to figure out this engine, just like T'Pol said. That's our primary mission right now, our primary motivation. There's no reason we wouldn't want to come back. Unless you keep threatening to turn us into lab rats anyways.
God, this is going to sound bad, but Keanu kind of turns to the group and Shadow Tongue just goes, I mean, fucking A, we do have extra dimensional beings on board our ship right now. I don't want to give them away.
What are you saying? I don't understand you.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. Nobody else speaks it. So he's just hypothesizing to himself and everybody else.
Oh, that might be the funniest thing you've done, Keon. Thank you for that.
I respond to you in Russian, not understanding anything you said.
What the fuck are you saying?
Exactly.
Just goes on for like a good 4 minutes about that. Nobody fucking understands him.
I just start ignoring you guys.
It seems best.
The vest has a light bulb come up on his head. He's like, what about? How about this? We might have an idea of where to go to fix the drift.
Are you saying this out loud or just in your telepathy network?
I am
that you can't access on your own.
You know what? I'm gonna do it out loud.
Kamana will nod.
We ball.
In response and say, you need the drift repaired just as much as us. We've got this engine that lets us move around without the drift. You know that's the best chance. The best lead we have.
When the drift crashed, we encountered someone, a priest of Triune, who seemed to be talking about strange stuff about the drift. So if we could follow that lead and solve that problem, perhaps we can restore the drift for everyone.
Well,
here's our journey. Here's the journey.
Let's take a look at that engine of yours first. We'll come to a decision from there. How about that?
All right. I don't trust that thing, by the way. It took us to hell.
Really now? That sounds even more interesting.
Kamana will turn to the rest of the party to see if they're okay with this turn of events.
Ian still speaking in Shadow tongue.
Oh my God.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's get down.
Use common or use
Sick.
common, goddammit.
I'm sorry about my friends. They're a bit silly sometimes.
Right around this time, the elevator door pops open, and out comes striding a female human in really full, like, true researcher attire, flanked by a pair of much more knightly looking figures, full suits of armor with sort of radiant glowing long swords and shields actively drawn.
It's going to take a poop, I see.
Look, okay? The Knights of Golarion don't have an easy way to take off their armor during shift. So,
Boy.
You know, it's the future. They're wearing diapers.
I don't want to think about that. How dare you make me do so?
They have no space diapers, okay?
Everyone has diapers in space. That's better.
Got him.
You all physically hurt me. I want you to know that.
Yay!
But the researcher and the two knight figures will make their way over to Winters, and Knight Commander Anko will sort of step back as she approaches. So, you all would be our alternate reality guests that want to make use of our portal?
That's correct.
Something like that.
What was this about a strange engine that may or may not react in unknown ways with our portal?
Can I just hand over my data pad that has whatever readings I was taking with the Thinker of Thoughts?
She takes it, scrolls through it pretty quickly. So you understand basically nothing about the device that is powering your ship?
So far, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one.
I can't say I'm not intrigued and would like to take a look. Let me ask you first, and she sort of nods at the corpses on the ground still that, like, the Vesk officers have started zipping back up to take away. The quantum signatures on them, I'm assuming you switched theirs with your own to try and deceive us?
That's correct.
A charming idea.
For what it's worth, they did attack us first.
Oh, good.
I would
As they
you know,
should
they befriended us first, then tried to kill us.
It failed.
I'm learning so much about you already. Shall we go take a look then?
Oh yeah, let's go take a look.
Well, we sure fucking tried, didn't we, folks? It was a valiant effort on all parts.
It was not supposed to go this way. Are you guys allowing her and a retinue to board the Primarata?
I don't see how we can't at this point. Like, if we say no, we're just gonna stir a fight here. And they just added two beefy-looking chicks with crazy-ass weapons. So, our chances of winning went down.
Kind of sort of just went down a lot.
Yeah, considerably. We're kind of at their mercy. We don't get to say what happens here.
Can Keon send a message up to Cobalt to disable the elevator?
Sure.
With the purpose is it locks them out of the top. There's no like staircase out of that
Out of the
place
observation deck.
where Larry, Moe, and Curly are.
Sure. That will force them to go through the bridge to get up to the top deck where the engine is. That is where the only steps up are.
I don't think we have anything sensitive on the bridge.
Well, if you are leading them onto your ship, this human female, the 2 knight figures, and Commander Winters will all board the ship, following behind you guys. Let me just grab some tokens to bring them onto the ship map. Just 'cause fuck it.
Can I ask, how bad were our deception rolls?
Not great. Never were great. Which was on... So it was... The DC, hilarious enough, wasn't even very high right now, but... It really was the fact that you just said information and asked for things that no one in their right mind from this reality would ever ask for.
Yeah, I guess it's my responsibility. I should have thought about it further, but I just didn't really know, like, how to broach the subject of, hey, can we use your portal?
So, for what it's worth, what the book expects is that you guys aren't going to try to ask to use their portal. You're going to try and just go and change the coordinates and fly through it on your own. And the bodies were more
they had,
to
like,
get onto the ship.
I assumed they had, like, pretty tough security going or something.
I assumed that we were gonna like poke around the station a little bit and try and figure out how hard it would be.
Mm-hmm. It was certainly possible to bluff your way past if you guys did things like ask to take the corpses to the reanimation chamber yourself.
When I was lamenting not having telepathy, my thought was like, man, I really wish I could tell one of the guys who could, hack computers to find an excuse to make themselves scarce, find a terminal, and hack. Less muck around with shit, but yeah.
Yeah, the way it was meant to go was you guys would look around a bit, get an idea of what the security level is, and also figure out where the portal control room is, and then either deceive your way past or fight your way past what security did exist to get there.
Okay, but this is like a heavily armed station. Why would we want to try and start a fight?
That's why deceiving your way past would be pretty good.
Well, we tried our best.
You did.
Well, we can still fight.
Yeah, depending on how things go.
And honestly, at this point, it's looking like it might not even come out to a fight, potentially. We'll see how it goes. And speaking of which, we're going to take a break real quick, because I need to do some thinking.
Yeah,
so,
That's me. I'm going to go get caffeine.
I've had days like this.
And I will
days
see
like
you
this.
all in a few.
Party says.
And welcome back. So, you all are inviting this researcher and her retinue onto your ship. Back to the Primorata we go, everyone's favorite map.
I don't think I would say we necessarily invited them. They kind of invited themselves.
You kind of invited them.
I suppose.
I literally invited them.
As they will, make their way up the stairs if you tell them, oh, hey, the elevator's out of order. They're only gonna not believe you, mostly. But they will follow you all the way up through the bridge, up to the 3rd floor of the ship, and towards the engine specifically, where this researcher will begin to take a look at the Signal Chaos engine. The Knights will sort of, stand off to the side while she takes a look at things and go just sort of stand by her, but somewhat behind her.
Hey, is that human hand still around, even though Thinker's not here?
Sure. Fuck it. Why not?
The last I was seen, he was threatening to put it in someone's bed, but then I talked about dreams, and it was never mentioned ever again.
So if it's handy, I just look at the research and I go, "Hey, check this out," and then put a finger of the hand into the engine.
I will choke slam you if you do that.
Rude.
Is it being done?
Oh, I don't know. Am I getting choke slammed?
Put weird shit in this thing.
I want to do it. If someone's going to stop me, stop me.
Where are you? I don't even see you on the map.
In the bridge right now. As you go to stick a hand in the engine, this researcher will actually raise her hand. Please don't. You said you don't know much about this. Let's refrain from sticking appendages, even 3D printed ones, in here until I've had a moment to look at it. Would you mind?
Okay, fine. It's just we've done this before. I wanted you to see the effect.
Let me get the basic parameters first, if you don't mind.
Fine.
And she is going to begin pulling out a number of sort of gizmos and small devices and beginning to conduct a number of reading tests just on the entirety of the Signal Chaos engine, specifically here.
Can I roll anything to understand what she's doing?
I'm sorry?
Right. Anything that I can roll to understand what they're doing exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a crafting check. It is 9 p.m. Why the fuck are you starting fireworks?
Right. They've been shooting off guns and fireworks for 5 hours here. South
Johnny Cricket.
Yeah.
Bad people. Bad people. Shame on you. This is being recorded on New Year's, for those of you who don't know, who are, for some stupid reason, watching this. Why? What are you doing?
That's not going to increase your viewer count.
Look, I'm 99% certain no one's ever watched more than an hour of one of my sessions.
I have. I like watching your sessions.
Well, thank you. You're the sole reason my average view duration is up. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Let's see. To Paul, watching her as she is doing a number of these readings, she mostly appears to be scanning what material composition it's made out of, what the power source is, and how it is being directed and applied, and also just looking for alternative types of power. Is it electric? Is it nuclear? What sort of energy core is actively powering this thing?
Am I able to see the results and log them for my own uses?
No, she's using a small scanner. But she does appear to be getting some actual results. She's making small and interestings as she logs these. Have you guys mentioned the coordinate display to her?
I imagine that'll be up to Paul since he's the one showing it to her, and he's the one that knows the most about it.
I won't mention it yet.
Sorry, both you spoke at the same time.
Go ahead.
I won't mention it
Okay.
yet, but I will offer to not put anything in it if they share their results.
Oh my god.
Are you threatening me right now?
No, I'm just saying that if I can't run my experiments, you should share the experimental data you're getting.
You offered us to come in here to take a look at your engine, and now you want me to share my results with you. And if
Yeah,
I
you've got
don't,
to-
you're going to try and ruin our experiments.
What he's trying to say is if we're going to help, fix the drift crisis, that we need to know as much about this engine as you guys do. Smile, smile.
That is literally the most pessimistic interpretation of what I said. What is wrong with this dimension?
My eye is twitching.
So is mine, Durgesh. So is mine. Probably so is Enko's at this point, also. He's like rubbing the side of his temple. You guys are giving him a headache. Amara, what is that?
Oh, that's just me being behind somewhere out of sight.
Yeah, no, what's the burst?
Just in case. Burst. Oh, that must have been an accident.
Ah.
I'm just drawing my weapon.
He's throwing a grenade. Get down!
You draw your weapon and knock a grenade off your belt. Oops.
Oh god.
Can I compile my results first? Or do you want me to just spew knowledge at you without getting time to process it? Amateurs, gods.
I mean, it's up to you. I was just asking for you to share. If you want to spew knowledge, I'm all ears.
Give the nice smart lady time to think.
Gods test me in mysterious ways. Alright. I'm going to continue running my tests. And I would prefer not to be interrupted while I'm doing so. And we'll see where we stand once I'm done. How long are you guys planning to allow her to stand here and run tests on your engine? Or, like, when would you be like, okay, this is kind of enough?
As far as Kaman is concerned, as long as she wants to, but I don't know how other people feel.
Same.
On account that the only smart people we have to look at this engine seem to be complete psychos.
Rude.
I'm more willing to listen to what she has to say.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Keon will stay in that room for however long it takes, even though he understands absolutely nothing anybody is saying. He's just going to smile, nod along. But he'll stay there for however long they're there, unless they act hostile towards him.
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Durgus is doing. He's waiting to see if they'll do anything hostile, but he's just like, at this point, he's like, what options do we have aside from fighting an entire station of people, which is a terrible idea.
We can always eject the trash.
You stay away from that button.
God damn it, it's my favorite weapon.
Okay.
I will ask, like, do the 3 rings, is that something to do with Triune or something? I don't know. Stupid.
It's certainly possible. She'll be at it without stopping for probably about 6 hours here. Before she even, like, stops for a minute. Just, like, looking over thing, pulling out numerous devices. You're not actually sure where she's pulling them out from. And running all manner of, like, diagnostic tests on this engine.
The entire time that she's doing that, Keon's getting kind of antsy and just starts talking, mumbling to like, he's talking at, like, the guards that are there, but he's talking in a shadow tongue. So he's really having conversations with himself the entire time there, and just kind of like, what if you look a little funny there. Did you buy that sword from Costco? Kind of thing, and it's just making jokes because he's spaced out, just wants has a need to talk and just starts talking in the language that they don't understand.
Fair enough. They'd probably respond in Vesk, because that's the language they know. And there's just a complete language barrier as both of you are having conversations at one another without actually conversing. What fun.
Keon, white smile, he's enjoying this. He's making like their I think I got a high in there. Oh, that must have been a wrench that he said. Or like he's trying to piece a couple of words that he knows of Vesk together, but he's just like fishing to make people talk.
You're mixing Vex with your shadow tongue?
Mm-mm.
He's just trying
They're
to
talking
understand.
Vesk. And he's like, whatever they're trying to say, he's trying to pick up on some of the words that he knows
This
on
one's
there,
gonna
but
be the
he's
best
just
friend you've ever made, and you're not even gonna know his name.
yeah, no.
Yeah. If the guard like ever looks at like me, I was just like, I don't know what he's doing either.
There might come a time where Anko just starts slowly banging his head against the wall, having to listen to this.
Kamana will do her best to keep everybody happy.
It is the most monotonous 6 hours, especially for those of you who are not tech savvy, to just be sitting here watching a researcher work. It is awful.
That's the primary reason why Keon just won't shut the fuck up.
And I've stood in line for god-awful times before, so I know how this feels. I'm just not sure I can accurately describe it for you all. But it is monotony to excess. It is almost physically painful, just because there's also only like one chair up here. So maybe you bring in some chairs from like the tech workshop or the medical bay if you want, but otherwise you're quite literally standing in full gear for hours on end, just making useless conversation as a single person is running all manner of tests and operating small devices over your guys' engine, and gradually seeming to get more and more frustrated as she does so.
I'm
like if Keon recognizes that face of frustration, he just in shadow tongue turns to the soldier right here. Well, I've seen that face before. That's not a good sign of a knowledge kicker. And it just keeps pacing around, knowing he does not understand me.
Right.
Dear guest, movie like, and I thought yesterday was long.
Alright, well, I have finished preliminary investigation into this engine of yours. You want me in 6 hours to understand everything about this? Are you kidding me?
No,
You've seen this, right?
Smile.
Alright.
Now you know why we so urgently want to go through the portal to go and try and find out more about this engine.
As far as I can tell, the casing of these rings is using a modified steel alloy. It's relatively simple, not particularly valuable, or has any useful properties in containment or the like. The power source of this engine is what's confusing me a bit. You have your ship's power core right over there, and it's hooked up to it, but at the same time, it's running off of a compressed gas giant core as well. And that's feeding power to it.
Wow.
Huh?
You wouldn't happen to know where the core of a gas giant came from, would you? And how it got compressed to the size of a few microns?
No.
Ooh, maybe that was that Nova thing that was coming at us when we made that jump and ended up in hell.
That's what's powering it. You do appear to have some sort of input display within this energy field for coordinates, it appears. 4 sets of inputs. However, this 4th set is strange because there's no string of numbers that would relate to any sort of positional that uses the correct amount of digits as this is asking for. This is what brought you to this reality.
Yes.
Yes.
When it brought you here, did you input any numbers into the coordinate display, or did you just activate the engine?
That's a great question. I can't remember above table.
My eyes.
I don't think we did.
You did not.
My eyes just sort of like do that sort of lizard thing where they don't focus on anything, just point in different directions, and like, I don't know.
You guys were like holding off an army of devils, to be fair.
Oh yeah, at that time I was fighting at the cargo bay door. There was a bunch of devils trying to get on the ship. And
Of course,
yeah.
there were. Right, you said it took you to hell.
Keon finally sits and just starts sharing pictures of like his kids and of things he did with this guard over here, and he's speaking shadow tongue, knowing again he's like, this is a good. He's not paying attention to the vest that he doesn't understand. He's trying to catch a word or two of it, but he's also just like anxious and trying to alleviate that by just talking.
Yeah. Seeing your pictures, not understanding a word of what you're saying, the guard you're with will sort of like nod, a smile will break out on his face. He'll pull out his comm unit, and he'll pull up his own sort of photo gallery. It's not kids or a family, though. It's a number of what look to be like cybernetically enhanced zombies that he has multiple pictures of what looks to be him and other knights playing tag with them.
Yeah,
and
my zombie slave family.
Other times where it's him like posted up next to the corpse of a person, and he's posing like he caught a big fish, just with like an actual person's corpse though.
Yeah, in shadow. Oh, it must have been your firstborn. Oh, did your first discovered? I don't know what you think about it. Again, in shadow tongue, he's just like putting on a face and making the gesture that he's doing himself about these pictures.
Right. The researcher probably throws a bit of a disdainful glance over at the two of you before turning back to the rest of you. I will be entirely honest, with preliminary data like this, I don't know how it works. But if activating it... Oh, sorry. Ignore that train of thought. Let's get back to the conversation I believe Commander Winters was having with you all before I arrived about heading back to your reality and funneling pirate corpses to us. Now, I understand that you all are interested in figuring out this drift crisis that's going on. I don't care about that. I need samples. So if you're going to get them for me such that I don't have to take you all as samples, how are we going to keep track of you, and how are you going to come back to us, since it seems like dumb luck you were brought here in the first place?
Well, presumably, these, the coordinate input here is the same as, like, any coordinate input for, like, your portal and stuff.
Were you not listening to the fact that I just said the fourth set of coordinates has no common string of digits that should work for it? Quantum signatures aren't the right amount of digits. Time coordinates aren't the right amount of digits. Even my, I'll be honest, rudimentary understanding of the fourth dimension, those coordinates wouldn't fit in there. So,
What the smart lady's saying is, we don't know what happened when we turned that on, so it's not reliable.
Well, we can get it figured out once we're back in our home dimension.
And
So you've got a portal anyway. How do you get your people back? Like, you must be sending people through on your own.
we send tracking beacons with them.
Well,
We
give
can
us a
open
tracking
the portal to directly where they are.
Yeah, you can put a tracking beacon on our ship. That sounds good.
Anyone who would like to, who's sort of leading this, may give me a diplomacy check. Anyone else who is aiding may do so as well.
I don't mind aiding, but it's going to be in Shadow Tongue, so
No,
it probably won't help.
I can aid.
I'll go ahead and throw the main diplomacy check.
Aid with pictures of your kids, Kian.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Kian's going to hug this security guard before he leaves, unless he attacks.
All right. Here, I'll do only the aid roll for diplomacy.
Perfect. All right, take your +1, Kimana.
Please, God. Okay.
That's not a bad roll. Not a bad roll at all. Fine. I suppose that can be done. Of course, communication isn't going to be easy, so we should set a predetermined amount of time for when we will open up a portal for you all to return.
Yeah, sure. It might take us a while to find some. How much time do you think is good? Smile.
My God.
You have
Are
to
all
remember
people
that-
from your reality incompetent?
Oh, wow.
Smile.
Oh God.
It's difficult to say how long, because without the drift, travel time is going to be a thing, and
If we account for the fact that the drift is down right now, theoretically, through the portal should take you to the direct positional coordinates that we are here, so it should end with you in orbit around Golarion 5. How does 2 weeks sound?
How about 3, just in case?
Give me a diplomacy check.
3 sounds good. Is it gonna have to be from Tabal, or can I?
Kamana, you may aid this one, but I would like it from
Okay.
T'Pol.
Okay.
Here's. I'm not even trained.
Well, you get a +1.
Well, you get a +1 to it, T'Pol.
oh my God.
You'll be ending up in orbit around a planet that houses who knows how many undead. I think 2 weeks should be plenty to rustle up. Let's see, how many of you are there? 5? However many more on your ship. Let's say for first delivery, how does getting us 12 corpses sound for a deal?
12 corpses in 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
Just accept it.
Yeah. 12 corpses. 2 weeks.
Oh boy.
Wonderful. Well, it's around midday. It'll take some time for us to install the tracker, so why don't you rest for the rest of the day? We'll get the tracker installed, and we'll say our goodbyes in the morning and be on our merry way. We'll open the portal for you, send you back to your reality, and everything will be fine.
Does your station have rest and relaxation facilities?
I
We're
think
not
we should.
using their
Yeah.
Sorry.
Keon in Shadow Tongue just straight up says, "I will not rest until you are off my ship or off this ship." Sits back down and starts having a conversation with his favorite bodyguard.
We have barracks for our people. If you would like to rest in a reanimation pod, you're more than welcome to do so.
I think
think
we'll
we're
be fine. Great.
I figured as much. Take your rest, do what you need to do. We'll lower the shields for you tomorrow morning to leave.
Thank you.
And with that, this researcher, Winters, and the other knights will all sort of pack their stuff up and make their way off of the ship.
I'm going to watch to make sure they don't leave any recording devices.
Give me a perception check. They do not appear to. They walk pretty confidently just straight to the stairs and down out the cargo bay doors.
Yeah, I follow them.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to do watches on the bay door, make sure no one sneaks on like last time.
Keon also follows them, does a perception check for anything that they leave, especially the guy that he's kind of been talking gibberish with. But yeah, he's trying to be quite aware.
Sure. Yeah. You do not notice them leave anything behind either. It seems pretty cut and dry that they just head directly to the exit. They seem content with the deal they have made. If they've got a tracker on your ship that they can just open a portal to you, they don't particularly have an issue with letting you go and using you to bring them corpses from an alternate reality.
I would like to watch them install this thing.
Sure. Yeah. It is going to be installed on the hull of your ship, so if you want to sort of stick around outside and watch them do so, you're more than welcome to.
Nope.
I would point out there will certainly have some sort of anti-tampering mechanism on there. You'll probably blow up the ship if you try to remove it.
Part of the reason it's going to take longer than it normally would to make this installation is because they're going to be installing anti-tampering on it. They don't normally have to do that for their own ships, but for you all, it's a special case.
Yeah, see, that's what I want to be watching.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
watch
happy with the
carefully.
situation. That's we got.
Like if there's like a private moment, like after they install the shit, or if we can have a private moment on there, I think Keon is. So, I get they were checking out our ship, and I think they put a tracker on our device. What's our fucking plan?
Apparently, we're killing pirates.
We figure out how to get rid of that tracking device and
We're
say,
gonna go back to our universe, kill pirates. Sorry, you said fuck. Who are we fucking?
them.
Who's them?
The people.
These guys?
Yes.
All right, I'm down with that. Although, I'm calling him Kevin now. I'll come up with a better name, but I like that guy that I was hanging out with on It's got some good pictures of some dead people.
We don't have to kill anybody. Just when we, you know, get home, we find a way to get the thing off. And
Kill people, and otherwise they're coming to our universe, our dimension, or whatever.
Don't do it anyway.
We're giving them access, regardless of it.
Well, they can come to
We've
our
given
dimension
them-
one way or another, right?
Not as precisely as we have given them.
Hmm.
So they'll be there. They'll follow us. I'm just trying to. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been speaking in shadow tongue a lot of the time. I just didn't want them to understand what I was saying.
Well, we couldn't understand what you were saying either.
I didn't understand what I was saying either. I was just trying to shoot the shit, whatever the fuck. But I'm just thinking, if we go to our universe, our dimension, or whatever the fuck, we give them complete access to our dimension, our universe, or whatever the fuck, and they can attack at will from any direction that we give them access to.
What else are we supposed to do? We need to get home.
We don't have to go to our home first.
Okay, if we go to another dimension, we don't know if there's any way in there to get home.
You guys have
We can go to hell. We can.
You better take them.
We can go to hell. We can disable that. Sorry, I missed it.
I'd rather take them to hell.
Yeah.
But we don't know how we got the hell in the first place.
I know we only have our dimension on there, but we can take them to. Damn, we don't have a rent. Oh, no.
We have no way to get back to our dimension from any other dimension we go to.
We don't. My point is, we don't have to take them to our dimension.
They already have access to our dimension. It doesn't matter. If they want to invade our dimension, they can do it whenever they want, but they don't have the manpower to do that. Not when they're already fighting a war.
Okay, above table, Keon, I am curious as to like how you expect us to get back to our dimension if we go to a different dimension first.
Above table, I don't think he has a plan on there. He's more nervous about if we allowed them this. I mean, from his perspective, this Viscarian empire or whatnot, this culture that he is speaking a language he doesn't know, that is seemingly extremely aggressive. If we allow them back into our dimension, there is a good possibility that we're bringing a lot of destruction along the path.
They can already get to our dimension. Like,
they already have your guys' quantum signature.
Yeah, like, if no matter where we go from here, they have our coordinates.
Durgas will mention that he had, with his extremely really good computers check from our session, that these Knights of whatever god the ones they pretend to follow, the god that they pretend to follow, is not who they actually follow. They follow Aomade. They are, quote unquote, the good guys. They're not aligned with the Vesk.
So, as a reminder,
superstitiously, they're not really on the side of the Vesk here.
The Knights of Golarion from your universe worship Iomade. The Knights of Golarion of this universe worship Erasni.
I thought it was implied that they secretly still worshipped her.
They still worship
Right.
Orosny. They're feigning loyalty to the Veskarium.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
the part I'm trying to drive home. Yeah, they only pretend to follow the Vest. They're not actually with the Vest, so they're not going to lead the Vest Empire into our reality. So it's like, I don't think we need to worry about a full-scale invasion, especially when they're fighting the Zlanti in this reality. They're not going to open up a huge can of worms going to another dimension for a full multi-front war. That would be insane for any empire.
Even a really jingoistic one like these guys.
Unless they're losing. Because if they're losing, then it's an escape to a world they might want, a dimension they might need to. They might have access to conquering.
If they wanted to go to another dimension, they already would have. They have the ability.
Sad. Let me put it this way. Our reality, and they know this, is not at war with anyone. They would be going into a system that is fully fresh with a completely intact corpse fleet willing to fight anyone who invades. They're not going to invade us. That would be a ridiculous suggestion for them to do. I do not see that happening.
I get your point. Again, I don't know a lot of what has gone on. I just don't like. I mean, I like the guy in there, but I don't like the style that.
None of us like the people in there, but nothing we do from this point is going to give them an advantage they don't already have.
Unless we give them the bodies of the people they want.
Which is why we'll have to figure out something about that once we get home.
Mm-hmm. Find a bounty board, find 12 people to kill, check them out, say, here you go, goodbye.
No, they're not going to just go say goodbye. They want more. They'll want more.
That's my fear. It's always the more. Tie yourself to these guys that can track you. It's always the more. But I'm not saying I'm not going to do anything for you, or I'm not changing my mind on this action. I don't understand what we have to do. We have to leave. And this boy leaving puts the fear of fucking God in me. And what we are putting out there for our friends and families that are in our own universe. I agree with what all you're saying. And you don't have to take no vote for what I'm saying. I'm just, we've had so many long days. We've had so many fights and so many struggles here. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just exhausted.
Let's have some rest. They said they'll come back tomorrow to install the transmitter, so let's just have some rest for now, okay, Mr.
They're
Keon?
installing it today.
Oh.
And then you guys will be good to go in the morning.
Well, in that case, let's see, once we get home, let's maybe have a day for us all to rest, if possible. Just one day. We can all take a breather.
I'm fine with that. At least a day to breathe, a day to... God damn, this has been such a fucking long couple of days, couple of weeks. But yeah.
The war. Get some rest, kid.
I'm overthinking. I'm fucking 40. Kid, fuck you.
Amara's technically older.
Mm-hmm.
Kian, also, you're, according to your character sheet, 28.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's
I
meant to be
should have been
different
old.
or not.
It should be because he's a retired
Okay.
athlete and not an actual. So he's close. He's like 38 or 40. Sorry.
Just
All right,
found that
have you
really
I-
funny.
gaslighting us? He's gaslighting us and think he's an old man?
No, oh god, he's wearing the hollow skin to make him look like a young dude, like the entire time.
It's very funny
He's
that Finkel is
gaslighting
the
me.
oldest in the party, and he's almost double the age of the second oldest. And you guys are all following around Kamana, who's 19.
Yeah,
Why are you
That's the
letting
thing.
Kamana make decisions?
I don't know.
Because it's
Charisma.
My decisions are usually to shoot people, so I thought I'd give it as a
she
rest
puts
for
on the
that.
show. She's got the good ideas for the music and all. Might as well let her make the ideas for the attack party as
Right.
well.
Well, I think we can agree asking to use the portal right away was a terrible idea.
I'm sorry.
Let this be a
It's
lesson
fine,
that
it's fine.
being good at music does not necessarily make you good at dealing with intergalactic military organizations.
No
Right.
matter what Cyberpunk 2020 tells us about rocker boys.
So I really think I need to learn Basque.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't ever have to come back here again, though.
Well,
Not under my decisions.
was there anything else anyone wanted to do today? While
Set
the,
watches on our airlock.
Sure. Change the passwords, maybe.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
Set up like a. I think Keon will go to pull. Can you set up like an alarm or an alert system that'll see if anybody's tampering with our airlock or tampering with anything trying to get into our ship?
That's the fun thing. You guys technically already kind of sort of have that system. It's just that the other crew, when they invaded, they were you guys. They know what measures you would put in place and thus what the passwords are to get around them. It's really annoying.
And can we not use And can we not use password 123?
Just put it in backwards.
Password 321.
Oh,
Three,
that's a
two,
good
one.
idea.
Yeah, that's what my good feels tells me to do all the time.
ROWSSAP. I'm gonna use that right away.
All right. I will not require perception checks from everyone if you are taking turns watching around the airlock door.
Uh-huh.
Nothing else really important happens today or throughout the night. You guys are free to rest decently well in your own beds on your ship after the tracker has been installed on the underbelly of your vessel.
Yeah, we're really gonna have to figure out a way to get rid of that.
You guys are welcome. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Keon just he goes to the medical bay, grabs like a handful of aspirin, takes it, and then just falls asleep on one of the medical bays.
Nice.
Amara makes sure to change all the passwords that she has access to as the pilot.
Fair enough.
Do stuff
Okay.
that she wouldn't normally use.
Okay.
I mean, those people are
John,
dead.
if you want, you can have some of the Vicodin.
That's for emergency use only, Kamana.
It
I
feels
get
like
it
an
available?
emergency for him.
It's in limited supply.
Oh yeah, I'll use it if my knee ever acts up again. I don't need the pain for that. It's just the fucking headache I got from. What the fuck did I say? Like it gave me a massive headache. Just referencing is like immaculate best being
You
on
don't
the
even know
Act
what
One.
you said. You just said it really well.
It's
Yeah.
pretty rough. I'm pretty sure you called his mother a skittermander.
Damn.
Oh, It's fucking hilarious. Oh,
Although it was pretty rough, so I might have misunderstood it.
oh, that's fine. I'm gonna keep that. I'm
What
gonna
an
keep
insult
that
to
in
GM.
mind.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else for the day or the evening, you guys are welcome to go ahead and take your long rest. As the next day finally comes around, miraculously, no fights having broken out here.
Somehow.
Somehow. I'm not sure how. But come the next morning, there is a calm for you guys as the researcher and Enko are making their way towards the airlock, seemingly to send you off as promised. I don't know if you opened the airlock or just talked to them over comms.
Oh, they're like, oh god!
And Durgash is sucked into space. Yeah, they will, come into the cargo bay as you open the door for them. All right, so, as agreed, you have 14 days to acquire 14 bodies. I'll be entirely honest, I don't care if they're pirates or not. I don't care if they're living or undead. 14 bodies. Sorry, 12 bodies in 14 days. Supply that. We're happy. If you wish to continue a partnership after that, in which payment is involved, we'd be happy to discuss those sorts of terms come that time.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You seem scared, are you? You don't need to
Honestly,
be.
you guys. Oh, okay. I won't be scared.
Good. There's no need to be
She
scared.
is, she's a 19-year-old girl, right?
Oh, is that what it is? Well,
I would assume so.
perhaps the adults should have been talking this whole time then.
Maybe if our deception guy would learn the goddamn language. I didn't say that out loud.
So, are we in agreement? Final time, just to make sure we're on the same page.
A one-time deal of 12 bodies in 2 weeks.
Any further deals from that? To be discussed. No forced deals, simply potential business opportunity.
I think that's fine.
Wonderful. Pilot your ship out of the dock. We'll activate the ship or the portal. By the way, I would prefer a DNA sample from one of you, just so I have a certainly accurate quantum signature for sending you all to where you came from. We wouldn't want to accidentally send you somewhere else, would we?
Durgus will offer up his palm because he's sort of done with letting everyone else try to sort this out. Just do it.
Yeah, she will rapidly. She has a sword. She doesn't really keep a knife with her, but she will rapidly sort of draw the sword, draw it across the palm of your claws, and collect a couple drops of blood in a vial. Thank you.
No, I could just use my claw. It didn't need to be that dramatic.
Where's the fun in that?
I guess.
Pilot your ship out. We'll activate the portal for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And her and Enko will make their way off of the ship and back into the station. And after a moment or so, the force field exiting the hangar bay will power down to allow you to pilot the ship out of the station if you'd like.
Let's get the hell out of here. This place should be dead anyway.
We are over what used to be Eox.
Yep, you guys are in the orbit of Eox. So theoretically, when you get back to your reality, you should end up in orbit around Eox.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will go just fine.
All right,
Do I
bro.
have my goats?
Check us through that portal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's get the hell out of this place. Not to hell, but out of this place.
Which hell was in this place?
All right.
Piloting now.
As you slowly get the ship stably out of the hangar bay, sort of do a wide 180-degree turn so that you are facing the opening of the portal. It very quickly comes online. The rippling, sort of water-like texture of the portal turns into more massive waves, each of them a different color, forming a beautiful kaleidoscope before these waves sort of turn into full tendrils that spiral inwards, converging at the heart of the gateway in a vortex of pure black. On your comms, you guys will hear, "The portal is ready. Please enter soon. I don't want to keep this open for long."
Yeah.
Proceed, Amara. Let's get out of here.
That's the plan. Boop.
All right. Immediately hanging up and making your way into the swirling vortex. The space around you instantly vanishes. The station morphs just into this endless tunnel of shifting light and shadow. Very different from when you travel in the drift normally. This is more as if you are inside a tube almost of light and darkness. The walls undulating like waves, sort of glinting with mirrored reflections of your ship amongst the light. There is a sort of static charge that seems to be manifesting alongside the hull of your ship, growing slightly in strength, but nowhere near dangerous enough to even fry your shields as it sort of holds on to you. There is a low hum coming from within your ship, the ship itself sort of vibrating a little more than travel normally would cause it to, as the ship begins to resonate with the barrier between realities, enough so that you can transfer between them. Who is on a system in the ship right now?
Uh-oh.
I mean,
What?
I'm seeing a computer.
Okay.
Me too.
I don't really do anything on it.
Anyone who has access to one of the ship's computers right now can give me a computer's check if they would like. As you guys are going through this fun portal of amazement.
I'm looking for video games.
It's in the console in the lounge.
I think Keon is very intensely focused on what's going on with everything on there. So he's deep in research.
Amara, you're the one piloting the ship right now. Do you want to keep that Nat 1?
Nah.
Okay.
Is that better?
Most definitely, yes. You want to get home, right?
Mm-hmm. I do. At least away from there, you know.
Oh, away from there. Okay, that's what you want. I can work with that.
Oh, no.
No, I'd be monitoring specifically to make sure we're going to the right goddamn coordinates.
I would like to say your natural 1 made my 14 into a natural 20, and I'm kind of bummed it actually wasn't 20.
3D dice, yay! Good rolls all around. And Amara, your desire to get away from here seems to resonate with the space-time outside of you. The kaleidoscoping lights and darks speed up. That static barrier clinging to your ship begins to crack and give way as your ship begins to push through the veil between realities. Durgesh.
Did I find Galaga?
You found Galaga on the computer. Fantastic. You're having a great time.
Yeah.
To Paul, you're watching your guys' coordinates, making sure you are going to the correct physical location and that the quantum signature of your surrounding is going to match where you're heading. Everything seems good. Kian, you're studying, you're taking notes, you're understanding what this sort of shift between planar barriers looks like. Not just planar barriers, reality barriers. You've gone between planes before. The engine did that for you. The engine. Amara, on your piloting console, the signal chaos engine lights up.
Uh-oh.
It's turned on.
That's weird.
With that sort of
What's
roll,
weird?
Amara, the signal chaos engine itself is going to resonate with your desire to go home. And it should be fine, right?
It
Right?
should be, but
Where is home?
Those warning signals coming up on your dashboard are just fine, right? Surely.
People, we're getting in trouble.
What's happening?
Warning signs. Chaos
Warning
engines
signs.
on.
Oh no.
A high-pitched whine begins to fill the air, drowning out that low hum and even your own voices for the most part, piercing your eardrums. All of you can hear this. As this whine commences, as the engine resonates with your desires and piloting Amara, the tunnel of space-time reacts. The walls begin to buckle in on themselves and crack, fractures spreading along the waves like veins of shattered glass. Streams of chaotic swirling energy begin to bleed into the tunnel, trying to grasp on to the edges of your ship, flooding it with just raw energy and power. The tunnel itself, a perfect stable line, now begins to writhe and twist like a cobra almost. Then begins to collapse. I need a piloting check, Amara, please.
Oh no.
Can I aid
To
that?
Paul or Kian, if you would like to aid that because you rolled a 20 or higher, you may do so with either computers or piloting yourself.
Sure. Aid with computers?
Or piloting.
Yeah, I'm
Very
gonna
good
go
roll
with
to Paul.
computers.
And a solid roll, Kian. Go ahead and take your +2 circumstance bonus, Amara. Okay. You wrestle with the controls of the ship as the tunnel itself is collapsing and writhing, trying to throw the ship to the sides of it and crash it almost through the walls of the portal. Shadows of that energy, impossible shapes beginning to surge around the ship. Those of you on the bridge and with a view screen in front of you, able to see out of it and view these strange landscapes that seem familiar, almost. Kimana, you're the only one not on a computer. Can you give me a recall knowledge check, please?
Sure.
What you're seeing outside of the view screen right now, fragments of landscapes and realities all sort of meshed together, is extremely reminiscent of the drift. What it looks like in the areas where it has devoured fragments of other planes and smushed them together. Looks a bit like that outside right now. But Amara, you managed to keep relatively solid control of the ship, driving it, trying to get it to the end of the tunnel that is rapidly approaching even as it falls apart around you.
Here we go.
You succeed.
Any weird shit I care about given my weird background?
You're a bit focused on helping Amara control the ship right now, so you don't immediately take in what's going on outside. You might clock it a bit later as you think on it.
Okay.
In a moment, the ship hurls to a stop. Good enough roll that you manage to escape this chaotic stream of energy as it collapses around you, seemingly unable to react and mesh well with the activation of your signal chaos engine in this instance, but bringing you back to reality. Your reality. Long-range sensors on your ship begin to ping what's going on nearby. You find yourself orbiting a planet. Or what
Which
remains
planet?
of it. There's a couple things you guys simultaneously notice here.
Oh no.
First and foremost, Yox, the planet of undeath in front of you, lies shattered in space, broken apart into these several larger fragments and hundreds of smaller pieces, loosely held together by whatever gravity field remains. The entire section of space that the planet is taking up right now is emitting astonishingly lethal levels of radiation right now that your ship is on the edge of. Your sensors pick up no life in the vicinity. Nor unlife, for that matter.
No easily hosted corpses either?
None. Beyond that,
And
something else grabs your attention. Sorry, go ahead, Keon.
like with that image, Kian kind of stands up. Was that because of us? Was that because of our engine?
I really hope not.
Fuck they. Oh God, I knew that planet. I had friends on there.
Damn, that radiation's too high. Are we supposed to get corpses from there?
To Paul, this probably concerns you the most as your computers pick it up. The Starstone, that beautifully brilliant beacon that any navigator could lock onto with ease, isn't there. For that matter, no drift beacon is there, either in near space or the vast. From what your scanners are detecting, there is not a single existing drift beacon right now that you are able to pick up.
Oh boy.
You will have returned to, theoretically, your reality. But things do not look the same.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's unlikely we're in the past. Maybe we've gone back to the future. Get some scans, people.
What the fuck is going on? Hey,
Do we have
I do
access
not
to the?
remember this future. Or this present. Or whatever the fuck we want to call it.
All right. Calm down. Calm down. Can we try to access the infosphere? I try to bring it up.
Nothing to access. There's no points for it to be connected to right here. All the beacons that the infosphere would connect through are gone. Radiation is interfering with anything that might come from the planet's surface. There's no infosphere access here.
All right, let's get
And real quick, a question for you, Jericho, just to make sure on it. In our universe, the planet of Aoxian is a very bureaucratic but positive force, right?
That's a way of describing it, yeah.
It's undead people that do a lot of like diplomatic bureaucracy.
Yeah. I mean, one of the big differences, it seems, between this reality and the reality you guys were just in, Eox didn't participate in the Pact Worlds effectively forming in the other reality. In this reality, they were one of the driving forces behind the Pact Worlds being formed. So... calling them a driving force for good might be a bit of a stretch, but...
Yeah, just the same as calling a bureaucratic force as for the good is a driving stretch.
Yeah, they're driving force for their own ends.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they work with the rest of the Pact Worlds quite well.
Well, we're certainly not getting 12 bodies from that radiated hellhole. Nearest planet's Triaxis. Maybe we should head there.
The fuck are you talking about? Is this our fucking reality or not? That was a fucking planet.
I can see that. And it's clearly destroyed.
Not. So, did we land properly?
I don't know. We should probably find a planet that's not broken and see if there's people there. And
you're going for
what
the
happened.
thing.
What's that?
I was making. I'm sorry. I was making a sliders joke about the Golden Gate Bridge being actually gold.
Oh yeah. I can't believe someone else has seen Sliders.
It's been a long time, and I forgot everything about it.
The first 2 seasons were good. The last 2 seasons were horrible.
When they got rid of the lead, it sort of went downhill from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is Durgesh's suggestion, is to go the Triaxis, because technically it's the next planet in line. Maybe we can establish communication with who is still alive in the system. And
or,
maybe...
alternatively, you could go into the diaspora.
True.
If you wanted to head in the direction of Absalom Station, that would be what you do, but...
No, that's true. That would probably be a good place to go.
Yeah.
And also, you probably could find some pirates in the diaspora.
That is where a lot of them like to chill out.
That's true.
Absalom Station seems like a good option.
All right. We'll see if we snag up any pirates on the way there, collect their corpses, put them in hold, and then go there.
I mean, that's the center of our city, and I will say, I'm a bit nervous. I know they have the coordinates there, but I'm a bit nervous that they're tracking our ship to the hub of our civilization.
I mean,
Again, from what you know, physical, like, positional coordinates are the same between each reality. All the tracker is doing is letting them know exactly where you are. Absalom Station, theoretically, they'd be able to note just based off of where it is in their reality.
Which could be different.
Well, if we want to get the tracking
Could
beacon
the
off,
ship get-
we can drop it off on the Eox. Let them deal with it
I'm
themselves.
fucking done with off. I'm down with trying to get it off and trying to shoot it in a different direction. I'm also
figured.
down if you want to go to Absalon Station. I'm okay with that. Again, I heard about a third of what you guys were talking about. I have no idea what's. I have a
Honestly,
decent idea what's going on, and I'm not.
Keon,
Okay.
we're going to Absalom Station.
All right.
there we go. Take charge.
Decision made. All right. Well,
They will kill any pirates on the way there.
I'm not killing anyone. Unless they attack me first.
And then they'll keep their bodies so we can give them to those people.
No, we're not giving anything to those people. We're abandoning them. They're mean people. They're bad.
I'm just saying, if we can't
a little
fight
bit
with
more
somebody,
involved.
kill them. We may as well just keep the bodies.
I will fight. And I will protect y'all. But I will never kill a person just to kill a person. And I think Keon storms out of the room at that moment.
We're not killing anybody. Don't worry.
I'll do it.
No, we will be killing people.
We're
not killing
them
them.
like that.
For all we know, we totally just wiped out an entire planet, though.
I don't think we did that.
Fine.
That's like I mean over the table. That's the thing that fucking scares Keon into making that statement. Is that he thinks he killed by us being there? He thinks he killed all of the people there.
Signal Chaos Engine wanted to get you home so badly it blew up a planet.
Oh,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it, huh?
Was it because of my high scoring Galaga?
Yeah.
Yes, Durgesh, that's the reason.
Oh no, it's me!
All right. Well, with your destination locked in, Absalom Station, and perhaps a tracker to maybe try and scrape off the underside of your ship at some point, that is where we are going to go ahead and end our session for today.
All right.
Thank you all so much for playing.
Thank
Hope
you
you
very much,
enjoyed.
Mr. Jericho.
And I will, above table, confirm you are back in your own universe.
Oh, that
Fun with
entire
that.
thing with the Knights was so stressful.
Congratulations, you have successfully bypassed an entire dungeon
Yeah.
of like
And then
3 encounters.
That's how skilled we
You
are.
could have seen a black hole in person. Come on, people.
Oh.
I had a mini black hole as a hazard.
Oh, cool.
Just
the picture.
The recap for next week is going to be hilarious.
Oh
when
boy,
Destiny
I gotta
gets
think
back.
on that. I gotta do some thinking. I just fucking blew up Eox. So
Hey, Destiny, guess what happened?
Wait, is Eox not supposed to be blown up?
maybe,
Jericho?
maybe not.
We're in our own reality. We blew up Eox.
Look, I like doing rewrites. What can I say?
Oh my god. Mr. Jericho!
You get a nat 20 with the Signal Chaos Engine, you get to blow up a planet.
Ah!
You know what? They're just a bunch of
So like the
zombies.
experience for blowing up the entire planet is the question.
We use
For
milestone that doesn't apply.
You get the
We
XP
should
that you would have got if you
level
went through the
20
dungeon.
now?
How does that sound? They're all level -1. They're worth. Actually, that would even still make them worth decent XP to you guys
Yeah.
right now.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Main thing I have to figure out is how to get you guys some extra loot now, because you're a bit behind on treasure from that. But
Find a parrot stash.
right. Well, that is for me to determine. But hey, you are in a reality, or back in your own reality, where seemingly all drift beacons and the Starstone are gone, and Eox is destroyed. So, if you're heading towards Absalom Station through the Diaspora, then theoretically there are absolutely some encounters I can give you that'll help you get a better understanding of what's going on exactly, and also recover some of that treasure.
Hey. And we can stop by the Ardari.
Yeah, you can stop by the Adari if it's still here.
Hey, what happened to Eox, guys?
What's the word?
What's the word, dogs?
All right. Well, I will see you all next time. Have a great rest of your week. And to you guys and to anyone potentially watching, Happy New Year. Here's to a great 2025.